ask you something. Have you ever tried to sell an extra service, an experience, or even a simple add-on to your guests and felt like you hit an invisible wall? Maybe you assumed it was a tech issue, or a policy you misunderstood, or something you just hadn't set up properly yet. But here's the shift most hosts don't realize until it's already happened. Airbnb isn't just booking nights anymore. They're also deciding what kinds of services and experiences you're allowed to sell on their platform, and they can reject or restrict listings at will. It's no longer just about reservations. Airbnb defines how add-ons, services, and experiences must be structured if they're sold on their platform. Through updated rules around messaging, payments, and off-platform activity, hosts now face tighter limits on how they offer and monetize services beyond the stay itself. Many hosts don't realize this until an upsell is blocked, a message is flagged, or a payment method is restricted. Most hosts assume something that feels reasonable. If I provide the service, I should be able to sell it. If the guest is staying with me, I should be able to offer extras. If they're my repeat guest, I should be able to transact directly. But those assumptions only work if you own the relationship. And on a platform, you don't. Airbnb's responsibility is to protect their ecosystem, their checkout flow, their experience marketplace, their control over guest spending. So as Airbnb expands its own experiences and tightens enforcement around messaging, payments, and off-platform transactions, hosts slowly lose control over how revenue is structured. Not because you violated a rule, but because the rules themselves are changing. What used to be your add-ons is now considered off-platform activity. Let's walk through how this shows up in real life. Example 1, the blocked upsell. A host offers a private chef experience. They vetted the chef, guests love it. It used to be a simple add-on, but now payment can't be collected outside Airbnb. Messaging about logistics gets flagged. The host is told to route experiences through approved channels. Revenue that once flowed naturally stops. Example 2, the repeat guest illusion. Another host has repeat guests who come back every year. They want to sell them merchandise, branded welcome kits, and local experiences. But even with loyal repeat guests, Airbnb's system controls how and when transactions can happen, especially during active stays. The relationship feels personal. The transaction rules are not. Example 3, competing with the platform itself. Now zoom out. Airbnb actively promotes its own curated experiences, like tours, activities, and add-ons, presented seamlessly inside the guest journey. The host offerings? They're secondary, harder to surface, sometimes not allowed at all. The platform isn't doing anything wrong. It's just prioritizing revenue streams it controls. And hosts are left with fewer ways to expand income beyond the nightly rate. Here's the important perspective shift. This isn't about whether upsells are good or bad. It's about boundaries. When a platform controls where money can flow, how offers can be presented, and what happens inside of an active booking, then hosts operate within defined limits, even when demand and guest trust exist. That's the structural shift many hosts are only now noticing. You're not building a brand. You're operating inside someone else's framework. That's why so many hosts feel stuck optimizing one thing, the stay itself, while everything around it becomes off limits. This isn't just one update. It's a steady move toward more control on their side and less flexibility on yours. Smart hosts don't just ask how to increase revenue. They ask, what revenue do I fully control? What revenue depends on platform rules? What happens if those rules change again? You don't need to act on this yet. Just be aware of it. Because once you see how revenue boundaries are drawn, you start to understand why many hosts feel capped, even with demand, reviews, and experience. When hosts realize that platforms increasingly decide what they're allowed to sell, not just how bookings happen, the conversation naturally shifts toward ownership. Ownership of the guest relationship, ownership of offerings, ownership of how revenue is created around the stay. That's the foundation behind the Dipster booking revolution, helping hosts step beyond platform-defined limits and build infrastructure they actually own. I'll leave the details below in the video description so you can explore that direction when it feels relevant. In the next video, I'll show you how guests are structuring a direct booking ecosystem, pages, add-ons, services, and offers in a way that feels simple, not overwhelming. Once you see how it's laid out, the difference becomes very clear.